Hello guys, welcome to Data Warriors channel. In this tutorial we are going to discuss about create, describe and delete tables. Let's start with it. Okay, so create, describe and delete tables. Okay, in this tutorial what we are going to do now, we are going to see how to create tables. Okay, how to create table. Then another thing we are going to see how to view metadata of table, how to view metadata of tables of a table, and the next thing is that how to delete the table. Okay, so these things we are going to see everything step by step, how to create the tables, how to view metadata of a table, how to delete the table. So now let's start with this, how to create tables. How to create table. So for creating table we need two things. For creating tables we need two things, like one first is a, we have to be aware of two things, like first are the, what are the column names, and second thing is that what kind of data we will be storing. Second thing is that what kind of data we will be storing, to decide to decide what kind of data we will be storing, to decide the data type. Okay, these two things we require. So now we will try to understand these things with help of example. So now in the left corner we have these customers tables. Okay, so customer table is having this customer id, column name, then customer name, location. So now before, like if we have to create a table in the database, so we have to be aware of column names, like what are column names we have to provide while creating the table, and then inside each column what kind of data we are going to store, that also we need to be aware of, because we have to define data type of that each and every column. So like customer id column is there, so inside customer id what kind of data we are storing, this 1 2 3 is a numeric data. So based on that we can say integer data type we can assign to the customer id. Then in the customer name, what kind of data is there? Names are there, like Akash Kumar, Amol Patil, John. Yes. So these are the string data. So what we can do? We can use varchar data type. Based on that, we can understand what data type we have to assign. Then location column will be having Delhi, Pune, USA. So these are also another like string data or text data. So we can use a varchar with the size. Okay, so this way, and then the next thing is that what is the syntax of creating table? If we have to create table, what is the syntax? So that will be create table syntax, create table, then table name. Okay, then you have to open one bracket, round bracket, and then inside that we have to give column name one space data type of that column, and then after that space we have to give constraint. Okay, so create table, table name, column name one, data type, constraint. So what is the constraint? These are the integrity constraint, which we are going to see in our next or upcoming tutorials in details. For now this constraint thing is optional, so we are not going to use that while creating a table. Just keep in mind. Then column name 2. Okay, so guys, this is the create table syntax. How to create table? Create table, table name, then you have to open one bracket, round bracket, inside that column name 1 space data type of that column, then constraint if we are using the constraint against that column, and then column name 2 space data type of column name column 2. Then inside that again if you have third column, you can give column name 3 data type of that column and then constraint. Okay, based on that number of columns you will be having, you will add all columns names and their details, data type details, and constraint separated by commas. And then at the end of last column, your last column, you have to use close that bracket and you have to use semicolon. Okay, this way we can create a table. And the next thing we are going to see how to describe the table, how to see metadata of the table. For that we have describe command, or describe we have to write, and then table name, describe table name. Like if our table is customers, how we can do describe customers. It will give us the information about all field names of the table, then their data types, then their integrity constraint or nullability. We will see that practically. Okay, and then finally how we can delete the tables. For deleting the tables, how to delete the tables. So for deleting the tables we have to use drop command, drop table, and then table name we have to give, drop table and table name we have to give, then our table will get deleted. So this thing we have to consider. Okay, we have to be very careful when we are deleting the table. No longer that table is required, that time only we can delete the table, so using drop table table name. So let's start with the practical examples, guys. So these are the practical examples we will be having. So let me open MySQL Workbench. So my MySQL Workbench is already open, so I opened it. This is the SQL editor where we are writing the queries. Let me take that example. Okay, this is our first example. So I'm just commenting out with the multi-line comment. Okay, so what is the example? Create a department name table in a demo database or schema. Field names as mentioned below. Department ID, department name. Okay. Okay, we have to create a table with the department name inside a demo database, and these are the field names, department ID and department name, or these two column names are there. So first thing is that we will replace this. These are the two schemas or database we will be having, lab and sys. We don't see demo database, so first we have to create that. How to create schema. Okay, so in like as I mentioned, schema and database both are same thing here in MySQL. So instead of create database name, I'm using create schema, and then schema name will be demo. Okay, select this and execute, guys. Demo database will get created. Yes, and to verify it if database is got created, just click on this refresh icon, guys. Yes, demo database got created. Okay, now we have to create the table with the name department, and these are the column names inside demo database. So how to create table? As we will create table, table name, then open a round bracket, inside that give the column name department ID, and then inside department ID, so you have to give the data type of it. So what we are going to store in the department ID? Department ID will be numeric, as ID will be numeric, so we can assign an integer data type. Okay, so column name 1, data type integer. Then what is next column? Department name. Okay, so department name is absolutely within the string, guys, right? So we can assign varchar data type. Okay, only these two columns. Let's close this open bracket, finally close here. Okay, and then give semicolon. Okay, now one thing is that, guys, like create table, department ID integer, department name will be in varchar. Let's execute this. Yes, we have got an error, no database selected. Okay, so this thing intentionally I did, guys. So we have to be very careful when we are executing. Like these many database are there, demo, lab, or sys. These are the schemas. Okay, so this department table, in which schema or which database we are going to create, how that SQL editor or SQL server will know, guys? So that we have to specify here before the table name. So demo, first we will give, first we have to give database name or schema name and dot table name. Now we will execute and then error will not come. This is the best practice, guys, we can follow. Yes, it got executed. It got executed. Now we will see, we will try to verify this. How to verify this? Click here on the refresh this icon. Okay, and then expand this demo. Inside demo, this is the table section. Expand this, you will be able to see, yes, department table is there. And then if we have to see how to view metadata of this table, then we have to use describe that table name. Table name will be, we have to give demo database name dot department. This name we will give, and then just execute this describe demo dot department to view the metadata of that table. Yes, what we have got, we have got this metadata information about the table after using describe table name command. Department ID is the field, department name, and their data type. Department ID is in integer, department name in varchar 100. Null, yes, means can they store null values? Yes, nullability is yes, so they can store null values. And then key, nothing is there because we haven't used constant yet. Okay, and then next thing we will see, guys, we have next example. Okay, we have to create another table also. So that we will take in another query or editor. Okay, just click here to add another tab of SQL editor. Yes, SQL file 3, just paste it and comment out it, forward slash hashtag, then hashtag forward slash for the multi-line comments. Okay, what is the question, guys? Create an employee name table inside demo database. Inside demo database we have to create employee table, and field names are these: employee ID, employee name, joining date, department ID, location. So how to create a table? Create table, then table name will be employee, and open the bracket. Then what is the column name? First column name employee ID, data type ID will be having the numbers mostly, right? So what data type you will use, guys? Integer. The next column name employee name. Okay, name will be in the string format, right? So what data type we can use? Varchar with the size. Okay, 200 I'm giving. Then comma. The next column name will be joining date. Okay, so joining date will be having date value, right? On which date the employee joined. So what data type we have to give? Date, because it is going to store date data. And then after that we will be having next column as a department ID. So again department ID values will come in the numeric form, so integer. And then next column is a location. This is the next column, location. Again location will come in the string format, so varchar we have to use, varchar 100 we can give. And then after giving all columns, employee ID integer, employee name varchar 200, joining date in date format, so date data type, department ID integer, location varchar 100. So finally now it's time to close this bracket, guys. Open bracket which we created, which we have opened after table name. Now if I will execute this, does this will create table, employee table in the demo database, guys? No, we have to add here before table name demo database name dot table name. And then now you can select this and then click on execute. Yes, our create table is success, 0 rows affected. Just verify if this table is created. Yes. Now in the demo database, in the table section, we have two tables, department, employee. Okay. Now similarly, if we have to see the metadata of this employee table, guys, how we can see? Describe the demo schema name and then table name will be employee, and just select it and click on run. Yes, this is the metadata. These are the fields. Total 5 fields are there: employee ID, employee name, joining date, department ID, location, and these are the respective data types. And null, all are yes because all can store null values. In keys, we haven't mentioned the constant now, so keys nothing is there. Okay, and default value we haven't provided anything, so null. If we are not adding anything, then null will get inserted. Okay, now finally it's time to see how to delete the table, guys. Okay, so how to delete table? So now if out of these two tables, if I have to see or delete this department table, how we can do that? Okay, why to delete table? First thing is that if I don't require that table now, okay, then only we are going to delete table, otherwise we are not going to delete anything whenever that requirement is not there. How to delete table? So we have to delete the department table, so just write here, for deleting the table, drop command, drop table, and then table name you have to use. So demo dot department. Yes, see here our query is successful, and then demo only having the employee table. Now after executing this, department table is got deleted. Okay, so this way we saw, this is for these how to view table metadata information and how to delete table. When we are now we saw like integrity constraint is optional thing, but data type we have to provide always while creating the table for each column. Okay, thank you guys, we'll see you in the next session.